Wars are won not just by tanks, planes, and generals. They are won by the soldier who doesn't go hungry in the hardest moments. We're used to seeing Wehrmacht soldiers in old photographs with their rifles and helmets, but few people think about what they ate every day. What was inside a German soldier's bread bag? What provisions accompanied him from France to Stalingrad? And could you survive even a week on such a ration? Today, we'll take a detailed look at the German soldier's field ration during World War II. And at the end, be sure to let us know in the comments which item surprised you the most. But before we look inside the bread bag, we need to understand one important thing. Any army relies not just on weapons, but also on its supply lines. This determined whether a soldier would be able to carry out his combat duties. The German command paid enormous attention to supply logistics. Thousands of tons of food were sent to the front every day. Warehouses, railways, truck convoys, and field kitchens were all in operation. However, there was often a massive gap between headquarters calculations and the reality at the front. During heavy fighting, food deliveries could be disrupted for days at a time. This happened particularly often in winter and during encirclements. Because of this, every soldier had to rely not just on the field kitchen. The provisions he carried with him played a major role. Small field stoves were used for cooking. They made it possible to quickly boil water or heat up canned food right in the trenches. A hot meal significantly boosted morale even in the harshest conditions. Therefore, the ability to make a simple soup or a hot mug of a drink was highly valued. A soldier carried everything he needed in his bread bag. It didn't just hold hardtack. Inside could be rations, personal items, letters from home, and various useful trinkets. A canteen and a mess tin were usually attached nearby. It was impossible to imagine daily life at the front without them. Even a few minutes of rest by a campfire became a true luxury. It was in these moments that soldiers could eat in peace and regain their strength. However, the field ration remained the foundation of it all. Now let's look at the foods that most commonly made up a German soldier's ration. Some of them are well known even today. Others have long since become a part of history. But each of these items served an important purpose, maintaining the army's strength in wartime conditions. So, let's take a look inside a German infantryman's bread bag. Maggi bouillon cubes. These little cubes were a true lifesaver for the soldier. They took up minimal space and made it possible to quickly make a hot broth. All you had to do was drop a cube into boiling water. On the front lines, even a simple meal like this could significantly boost spirits. Cheese. Processed cheese was often included in the German ration. It had a long shelf life and was high in fat. Fats were essential for providing the body with energy during long marches. Because of this, soldiers tried to save it for particularly tough days. Coca-Cola. This legendary chocolate, packaged in a round metal tin, was more than just a sweet treat. It contained caffeine and helped fight off fatigue. It was especially highly valued by tank crews, pilots, and scouts. For many soldiers, this tin was the most highly prized item in the entire ration. Pickled herring. Canned fish was also found in the German army's rations. The vinegar marinade allowed the product to be preserved for a long time without refrigeration. Additionally, the herring added some variety to the rather monotonous frontline menu. Canned meat. These made up the foundation of their protein ration. Most often, the cans contained pork or beef. These tins were easy to transport and could be stored for months. In many cases, canned meat became the main meal for the entire day. Knäckebrot. These dry, crisp breads replaced regular bread. They hardly spoiled and withstood long storage extremely well. Because of this, Knäckebrot became one of the most common items in the German ration. Card container. Special Bakelite containers were used to store margarine and other fats. They protected the contents from moisture and contamination, and the fats themselves remained a crucial source of calories. Mug and eating utensils. It was impossible to imagine a soldier's daily life without these simple items. Each of them was used every day to prepare food and drinks. Sugar. Sugar was considered an important source of quick carbohydrates. It was issued in cubes or small packets. Many soldiers tried to save a few pieces for later. Even a small amount of sugar helped quickly restore energy. Mess tin. Perhaps one of the most important items in a soldier's daily life. It was used to cook food, boil water, and heat up canned rations. Its simple design made it a reliable companion in any conditions. Ersatz coffee. Real coffee gradually became scarce, so various substitutes were widely used instead. They were made from chicory, barley, and other available ingredients. The taste was far from the original, but a hot drink still remained an important part of life at the front. In conclusion, one thing can be said. The German soldier's ration was far more varied than many people imagine. Chocolate, canned goods, cheese, crisp bread, coffee, and tea were meant to sustain the army throughout the war. What do you think? Could you survive a week on such a ration? Write your opinion in the comments.